Now that we've got bouncy water, let's make it a little more interactive and add some sound effects to it as well. To do that, we're going to need to download some sounds, and I like this effect set right here, this 40cc0 water splash and slime effects. So I'm going to download this slime effects sound pack. It's really for the splashes, and then we'll open up that zip file. I'm going to look in here, and I think what I'd like to grab is splash number 11 or 12. I think I'll go with number 12. So I'm going to right click on it and choose copy, or hit Control or Command C. Now I'm going to go back into Unity, so I'm going to minimize all of my windows, go down to my assets folder, and then go to audio, right click, choose show in Explorer to get this window open, and go to the audio folder, right click, and paste. Of course, if you don't see this or you have a different way that you like to do these, feel free, but I'm going to choose paste right there. If you have a better way that you like to get files out of zips, feel free to do it however you like. You just need to get it into your audio folder. Once you do that, you jump back over to Unity. You should see the sound effect here and be able to click the button here to play it. There we go. Now I want to add this to my water. I've got a bunch of different ways to do that. I've got my water here. I could go down to the bottom and hit the add component option. I could drag the splash onto it right over here. I can also drag it onto the scene view here and drop it right on top of this. I want to show you that, but just be wary when you do this, because if you drop it onto another object or there's something in front of it, it's very easy to pop it onto the wrong thing. But since there's nothing in front of this, I knew it was going to be okay. My audio source went down right on the object I expected. Now if I hit play, all I'm going to hear is that sound effect play once when we start, because play on awake is checked. Let's hear that. Cool, but not what I want. So we're going to uncheck play on awake, minimize our audio source, and we're going to need to add a new script, something that plays an audio clip whenever we enter the trigger. To do that, we'll go to our scripts folder. So go up to assets, go to scripts, and right click, choose create, make a new C# script, and let's just call this water with a capital W and name it for what it is. If it becomes something more generic later, we can always rename it. That's one of the cool things about code. You can easily, or usually pretty easily, rename and adjust things to match the new context as stuff changes. So we've got our water script created. I want to attach it to the water top high object. So I've got water top high. I'm going to hit add component. And look at that, I've already searched for water, but if I search again, water should show up. I've got my water script now added on, and I'm going to save my scene. The last thing I want to do is open up my code editor. I'll do that by double clicking the water script. I can do that right here or down here. Let's just do it in this spot, and I should get my code file just like this. Again, if it doesn't open up the first time, just go back to Unity, double click it again, and it should find it. Sometimes it doesn't get to the file initially or immediately when you double click on it the first time. I've seen it happen quite more than once at least. All right, so now we've got our water script, and our water script by default comes with this start method and this update method. We don't want to use either one of them, so we're going to begin with something that I do often when I'm creating new scripts, which is deleting the start and update method. So we're going to select here from the beginning of line 7, so I'll hold down the left mouse button, drag all the way down to the end of line 17 so that it's all selected, everything except for those braces, and hit the delete key. Now we have a nice, empty, tiny little class. We've got a class that does absolutely nothing, but it's ready for us to start writing some code in it. And the code we want to write is a trigger enter check. So we'll say on trigger enter 2D, and I'm not going to type in the casing because I know it's going to allow me to autocomplete, but we do need to have capital O-N, capital T-R-I-G-G-E-R, and then capital E for enter, and then 2D with a capital D. You also have to have the collider 2D part and the collision parameter here. I'm going to delete the private keyword here, and then we're going to deal with our trigger enter. So this code will get called whenever our water's trigger area, that buoyancy area, is entered by any object. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we only splash for the player. Actually, do we want to only splash for the player? No, let's splash for anything. Let's just make it so that whenever anything enters our trigger, we'll play a sound effect. So to do that, we'll get our audio source. We'll say get component, audio source, dot play. Save that off, and now if we jump back over to Unity, I think that's really all we needed. We could add a lot more, we could make it more complicated, but as it is now, if anything lands in our water, I want to play a sound effect. So let's hit play. We've got a sound effect gizmo on there. Remember, if you don't see the gizmos, the little button was up there. Let's run over here though and jump in the water and see if we get a sound. Pretty cool, right? And if anything lands in the water, it's going to get the sound effect as well. So let's stop playing. Make sure that we've saved our scene. Go into Plastic SEM and say that we've added splash sound to water. And check that in.